Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Votte Hall, and you're watching The Headline with Shay and The Hype Magazine.
Now I know why they call you pro.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your girl, Votte Hall, and you are watching ShayStar.com.
I know your heart is savage, baby. Yeah, we savage, baby. You watching me, I'm watching you. What's it gonna be? What you gonna do? No need for lying, babe. I'm the shit, can't try me, baby.
Hey, y'all, what's up? I know it's your girl, ShayStar, live and direct right here from the building ATL. It is Tuesday, so you already know we got all them headlines popping. And of course, when I sit down, I got to be sitting down with the headliners. So, without further ado, Mr. Votte Hall, not the thoughts, but Votte. What's up, Votte? How you doing?
What's going on, Shay? How you doing? You doing good?
I'm
You here?
I'm good. You know, I'm like giving all that positive energy.
I'm glad to be
feeling
sitting
it,
down with you today.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Listen, you've been out here working.
Wow.
You know, amazing single.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? I was blasting it on the way here, actually trying to, get a feel. It's like that happy, feel-good music. You know what I mean? That I feel like we're missing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So shout out to you, for bringing that back. So let's go ahead and get right into this so these folks can know exactly who you are. Votte Hall. Where did you come from?
So I'm originally from Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
But I would say I was discovered in New York by the way of Atlanta.
Okay.
That's when I got my first starts in music. I was doing some professional shows out in New York. I came back to Atlanta, worked here in the local scene, networked, and here I am today.
Yeah, hanging out with ShayStar. Look at that.
ShayStar.
So Charleston, South Carolina, I actually have some very close people who are dear to my heart from South Carolina. I used to do this Baptist convention growing up.
Okay.
And
What was it at?
we used to go for different places, whatever the host city was that year or whatever, but there was a group of kids that came from Charleston, South Carolina, who I grew very attached to. So
Did you understand?
yeah, that Geechee stuff, you know what I mean? I always thought, okay, I'm gonna tell you something, right?
Yeah.
I didn't understand that they were from the United States. I thought that people from Charleston, South Carolina were like from another country or something because of the way they talk.
Yeah.
But clearly I will never say that out loud ever again. But at 12 years old, I thought that people from Charleston, South Carolina were from a different country altogether. Yeah. But yeah, it is a very strong dialect that you guys have for sure. I don't really hear it so much with you.
Because I've been going about 10 years. So, the Somerville, Charleston, Goose Creek area. Yeah. It's all a little metro area, but I've been going about 10 years.
Yeah, but I bet when you get around your family sometimes it comes back out.
Family or people who are Caribbean or Africans.
Yeah.
You start to kind of sway in that
slide
direction.
back into it.
Yeah.
See, I'm originally from Oklahoma, so
or new people from New Orleans.
Yeah, so you get around that dialect, and sometimes it comes back out. I'm like, oh man, I sound.
Like Oklahoma?
I love Oklahoma. It's
we got to check it out.
No, you got to come to Oklahoma. It's just it's big, it's wide open. It's a great market. It's wide open because there's nothing going on there. A lot of great producers. Okay. You know what I mean? And shout out to the Thunder for bringing a lot of traffic that way. Yeah. But I think Oklahoma City is going to be the next rebuild like Atlanta was. I say give them about a good 10 years, man. They're working on some stuff down there. Yeah, they got a lot of casinos down there that always hire R&B artists.
Okay.
Yeah, so that might be something that you actually want to look into for real. Yeah. Oklahoma has a lot of casinos, and you got all the big R&B acts that actually come out there and kill the stage. So, plug. Yes.
I got a stage out there waiting on me in Oklahoma.
I'm putting it in the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you've gone from Charleston, South Carolina to New York, which everybody knows is a very hard market to tap into because it's very saturated.
I was blessed.
Yeah, and then back to Atlanta. So, how was that journey and that transition from Charleston, South Carolina to the concrete jungle to now Black Hollywood?
I think it's good because I have a mix of everything. And then not only that, I was interning So I was the intern at labels. I first was interning for Show Enough Records when I was in college. So for Jazzy Faye, Laura Giles, and then I went to go intern at Dallas's DARP. He had a foundation as well, and then I ended up getting hired on like 2021 on the staff.
Wow.
So I was able to learn the industry early. So I was actually lucky to be around, industry professionals, and then I was able to scope out how I wanted to actually do my career.
And, I was going to ask you that, when you are blessed to be in the presence of some of the people that you just named, that you got to be a sponge and soak a lot of that up. So what were some of those key things that you learned interning and working with the Dallases and people of that nature? What are some of the things that stick with you now as you go through your career?
I learned how to do it myself. Yeah, I learned how to go the independent route because everything that you were doing for the artists that they had on their label at that time, you learn how to do it yourself. So here I am today, I had a Billboard record and then I did it by myself. I didn't have a label. Well, I started my own label, but I didn't have a big engine behind me. And it's so crazy how I've been able to surpass people out there who have deals. I don't even have a deal. I don't have a major deal, but I've surpassed people who do. But I think it comes from working at those labels,
yes.
to be able to do that. Yeah.
Yes. And, knowing exactly what it is that you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I think a lot of times artists get caught up in what they think is supposed to be and the facade, the bells and whistles, and the smoke and mirrors, not realizing that it's a whole lot of planning and tedious things that you got to comb through before you drop that hit. You need a lot of money. We're just going to call it spade it is. It doesn't matter. The budget, because if you can't market it, I tell the artists this all the time, it's like relationships and money, or relationships and resources, we'll call it that. Relationships and resources, you can have 50 hot songs ready to go, but if you don't know 5 DJs that you can send one of those songs to, you might want to go back and rethink that quota right there. Yeah. I'd rather you have 50 DJs to send one song to versus 50 songs and one DJ to send it to. You get what I'm saying?
People save all the money up to make the song, but when it comes to promoting it, he's probably spending 15 times as much of what it costs to actually make the song. Just to give it visibility. So I don't think a lot of people understand that. Maybe, we need to. Sometimes when I hear, little kids, you ask them what they want to do, their plan A is music. I'm like, man, somebody really needs to educate them. Because I didn't have anybody to educate me. I had to learn the hard way. But, I just think you should always have a plan A and plan B.
Of course.
Yeah.
I came into this as an artist. A lot of people don't know that, but if you've been following me long enough, you do. I see the music. I'm all immersed in this thing for real. Mr. Bobby, can we turn this back on? It's like, I chased that for probably since the minute I could open my mouth, really. I knew that I wanted to be a singer. But once I learned the business of entertainment, I realized, what? This thing is bigger than what, me just trying to be the next Toni Braxton or the next Alicia Keys. You know what I mean? There's got to be a whole plan and process to this. And when I got into media, I'm like, what? This is where I belong. Because it's people like yourself who really have that drive and that passion and are able to resonate, with a particular fan base to the point where you need to be put on Front Street. You know what I'm saying? These stories need to be told. And I just understood very, very early that, it can't just be about the glitz and the glamour and the hype. There has to be some purpose behind it. And me as an artist, there was no purpose behind that. I was just enticed by the glitz, the glamour, and the lights. And, but as a media personality, I found that me having a platform to put people such as yourself who do have a purpose in this, that's more powerful than me holding a microphone trying to be the next Mariah Carey, Alicia Keys, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Find your purpose.
It was an amazing thing. You know what I mean? Because now my passion is different. My drive is different. When I wake up every day, it's like, okay, I need to do this, and this, because it's not just about me anymore. I have other people who depend on me to keep this stuff moving.
And we're looking up to you.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So this this is where I get my happy place at.
Yeah.
Is being able to converse with people such as yourself who have these stories that can educate these people who are out here who just think it's all fun and games or that we're just doing it for the gram. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not.
No, we're not.
Absolutely. So, what are some of those key trials and tribulations that you had to go through? Like, what's a hump that you can think of right now that was like, what, it almost turned you off, but you're glad that you kept moving?
What's so crazy is this: I've tried to quit so many times. I've tried to stop music so many times, but you just wake up and you can't stop. You can't stop. Like, you literally cannot stop. And even as the industry is changing, how we're moving to this whole rap sing model, you still can't stop. So you have to find a way to adapt and overcome and still be true to yourself. So I would think for me, I'm not your normal R&B singer. I'm not skinny in the skinny jeans. You got something to hold on to over here.
Hey,
you got,
teddy bear. Ow.
With a body. But, so I had to find my place when it comes to the R&B. So, you can't, I can't get in the clothes everybody else, or it's the look. The look has to be right. I think that's been a big challenge with me just because I'm not little, so.
You don't fit the mold.
I don't fit the mold, yeah. And I don't want to be little, I like how I look, I like to be able to stand out.
Yeah.
But I think that can be, so just imagine people who don't have that self-confidence, that can be a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. So if you're gonna be in this game, you gotta have some thick skin. You gotta, and then I've been through a lot, so therefore my skin is so thick. And it's not just because of that, but I just been through a lot in life, so my skin is thick. So so when you get to that point in which you know what you want to do, and you really don't care what anybody else think about you, you just want to do your music and do your thing. That's when it takes off.
Yes.
That's when it takes off. When you stop doing it for other people and start doing it for you.
Absolutely. And stop chasing the bag because the bag will come eventually. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
For real. So, this single that you got that's produced by the homie, Mr. Hanky Beats.
Mr. Hanky,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Mr. Hanky is the homie.
Yeah.
Like, I be here, there, and everywhere out of town, and I always run into this man. So, like, for real, he really moves around the city.
Yeah,
so, how did you guys link up to get? Is it Kiss on Me?
Kiss on Me.
Kiss on Me, yes. What was the process for that?
So, how they always say the Instagram models have power?
Yeah.
So, we had a mutual friend. She was my homegirl. And actually, so Kiss on Me was actually another record called Private Party. Okay. And we promoted it at the radio, and radio said it sounded too dated because I had used live instruments. So it was supposed to be a remix.
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah, they said I had live instruments. So we went back to the drawing board because everybody knows Hanky does the remixes.
Yes, he does.
He samples and he makes the remixes. So I was like, man, you know what? We need to get Hanky on this. So I literally went to his Instagram page, and we had a mutual friend, very popular young lady, and I reached out there. I called her. I was like, hey, you think you can introduce me to Hanky? I've never done that before in my life. But I was so cool with her, and she was like, yeah, I got you. She was like, and within 5 minutes, she had already contacted me. He was like, call me. And ever since then, it's been history, and like he's become more like a brother. Like, it wasn't even just a business transaction deal. It was, we talking every day about records, talking about songwriting, producing. He was teaching me things. I was teaching him things. So he became more like family. That's dope. Yeah. So I'm very proud of him. He's doing his thing. He's on fire right now.
No, he's definitely on fire right now.
One of his records this year that charted.
On fire.
Yeah. So he was definitely a blessing working with him. It was a great experience. Yeah.
I love, when the relationships come back full circle because it just speaks to exactly what we've been saying. You got to have relationships. You got to build rapport with people.
Highly respected.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And that matters. Like, your face card is everything out here, you know? So you can't go burning bridges with folks because you never know when it's going to come right back around. You know what I mean? Who would have ever thought, that I would run into, these two women here and, you keep running back into them, you know what I mean? And, and then to know that they work closely with, who brought me into the building, you know what I mean? It's just the industry is this big, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that it's huge because, you know, Instagram makes it look like that, but really the people who are really working, the people that are really like the core of this, that circle is very, very small. So the wrong thing to do is to find yourself outside of that circle, because once you are placed outside of that circle, it's very hard to get back in, you know. So shout out to you, you know, for doing what you got to do and sticking with it and not letting, you know, those small things, you know, deter you from doing your thing. And, you know, I can't wait to see, you know, what the next song does on the charts, and Simone, you know what I'm saying? But guys, you already know that if you want to indulge in what he got going on, you're going to have to get off of this interview and go log on to whatever it is he got going on. So let everybody know where they can find the song, how they can follow you on Instagram and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, so Record Kits on Me, it's on every streaming download, every platform, every musical platform. You can check me out on Instagram at Votte, VOTTE _HALL, Votte Hall. Yeah.
Where did Votte come from? What's that?
It's my middle name, actually. It's my government.
Shout out to Mom Dukes, you know what I'm saying?
So I'm named after my dad. He actually, I want to say maybe the Levert, you know how they being creative.
Yeah.
And it ended up, I took on his name.
Okay.
Yeah, his whole name, actually. Okay. So we have the same name. Yeah.
This is the real deal. We didn't make this up.
We didn't make this name up.
This is happening in real time right now. Yeah. All right. Well, Vi, it was a pleasure to chop it up with you. I have nothing but great things and that I feel about your future, and you know, we're on deck. So you know, definitely make sure you keep up with me. Let me know what you guys got going on. Shantae and Mimi already know. You know.
We got an event coming up.
Yeah, let me know, for real. We'll come through and make it do what it do, for sure. And we're going to bring you down to Macon too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm when I say I'm rerouting all of this traffic from the A to Macon, we gonna turn up. Yeah, that's right. Yes. We gonna turn up in the Mac town for sure. Yeah. You know, so that's the movement.
I did the interview down at Foxy.
You did. You was at Foxy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm at Power 107. So, you know, we're, like I said, I'm just trying to revamp the vibe down there. So everybody that's doing their thing in the A, I'm trying to bring it down to the Mac town to just create another vibe for them down there. And it's a new market, you know, for people to explore as well. So shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we going to keep doing this thing that way. It ain't over. Even if she's sing or not, we still gonna roll till the wheels fall off. But it's your girl, Shay Star. I love y'all, and we will do this again, not the same time next week, because I'm gonna actually wake up and be on time next week. But we'll see y'all again next Tuesday. I love y'all so much. Votte Hall, Eyelash Vision, we up in this thing. Hype Magazine, Shay Star, the building ATL, and we out of here.
All right.